To use your roll feeder, you need to add the premium function. So go to Help, Account Settings, and Premium Function Activation. Type in the number that you have with your roller, and once it's added, you'll see it down the bottom as activated. Now, to use it, you then need to change your artboard. The artboard is the last icon on the right. Change it from 12 by 12 to rolled material. It's set at 36 inches, mine's at inches at the moment, but you can change that as well. So I'm going to import a file that I have already prepared. Now, once I select the material, I can add a weeding box, and this weeding box option is added as part of the premium function. First of all, I'm going to group them all together, and then I'm going to add a weeding box around it. The weeding box does give you the option to surround them all or each item separately. Just use the drop down menu. So I'm going to click OK. I'm now going to zoom in and have a look to make sure I'm fitting within the boundaries. And to help weed this, because it is little files, I'm going to use the drawing function and just draw around them. This is purely to make the weeding easier. So just using the draw function and roughly going around them, making sure I don't touch any of the cut lines. You'll see at the end of the video where I start to weed this, how much easier it makes the weeding. Simple, only takes a minute, but it speeds up the job. If you do make a mistake and hit it, just delete the line. Okay, so just draw down the last line. Once that is all done, you can then transfer it to your machine in the usual manner. So I'm going to File, Transfer to via the internet. And that's as easy as it is to produce a file for cutting. There's a couple of things you need to do before you attach the roll feeder. One is to unlock the roller. Here we have two parts to that stop there. While holding the black, just push the grey one back. It will then move. It goes to a stop, which is marked on there. Again, holding the back, bring it forward and it locks it in position. Then lock the roller again. Very simple. Unlock, unlock, shift, lock, lock. Doing that will prepare you for loading the roll feeder. Okay, starting from our home screen, I'm going to press the arrow and select roll feeder. I'm going to attach the roll feeder in a moment, but I just want to see this screen. So I'm going to start to cut the rolled material. I did save it to Wi-Fi, but my Wi-Fi is a bit slow today, so I've also saved it to the USB stick. And there it is. I'm going to select the pattern and press OK. Now I'm just going to leave that for a minute, and we're going to go and set the roll feeder up. The roll feeder comes in two parts. I'll just gently pull the top part off. Put that aside for a moment. It's got a little groove here that attaches straight over the roller. So just sit it on there and press it down. The bottom part has the roll holders and a little lever to move it backwards and forwards to put the roll on. And that has two little hooks on, and they fit just in here on the front of your machine. Okay, so I've got the roll, put it on that end, move that end. It needs to be not dead tight, but reasonably tight. Also need to have a very straight edge, and if you haven't, then you need to trim it. I'm going to trim this at the end, so we'll have a look at how that works then. This top bit here slides a bit, so you need to have it right, pull it right over to the right side of the machine. Press your feed button, and it'll feed the thing in, the vinyl in just like it would a mat. Now we're going to cut this. I want to do a test cut. Now because I've got a few curves in here, I'm going to use a circle. It's out of the area where I can see it, so I'm just going to now have a look at my settings. It's automatically set for the half cut pressure, and the cut speed's on 5. That's fine for what I'm cutting. I'm going to take it down to 3. I think that might be enough for this particular one. So I'm just going to press start. It will do the test cut. Just feeds the vinyl in as it would a mat. There's the circle. Oh, peeling off beautifully. Oh, no, not peeling off beautifully. I'm going to take that up to 4. So I'm going to test again. I'm going to move that. Oh, sorry, I'll use the sharp point on that. Move it down just a little bit. If you can't use it with your, there are arrows there to move it around as well. Okay, so we're going to go into the settings. I'm going to make that 4. Press OK and press start again. Doesn't matter how many test cuts you make, because in the end you'll have a well cut piece of vinyl that will weed easily. Okay, let's have a look at it this time. No, it's still catching on the side. So I'm going to test again. This time I'm going to put it up to 5. I'm going to move it down and press start. Test cuts never worry me because otherwise I'm just wasting vinyl. Came up beautifully that time. It's not cut through, so it's just where we need it. Okay, so now I can press start. Now we have on this pattern, as you know, I've got both a weeding box and some lines to help with the weeding. This is a 3-minute cut, so we'll just watch and go. I have found that you don't need to have a full roll of vinyl on there. You can use smaller pieces, just feed it in the same way. So it's just going through the cutting stage. This is much easier than loading vinyl onto a mat, particularly foil vinyl, which is a little bit heavier than normal vinyl and therefore hard to get it to sit flat. Of course I don't need to get it flat because it will go in a rolled shape. So it's just cutting around. So this is about a 3-minute cut, this one. So I'll come back when it's closer to finished. It's just finishing up now with those extra lines I put in. And it's finished. So now I'm going to push finish. Now it's asking me if I want to move it to the trimmer position, and I'm going to say OK. Now the trimmer is on the bottom here. It has brother on the top. It only cuts one way, going from right to left, and it has 2 holes in it to sit just on top of the base plate like that. So then it's just a matter of didn't quite cut through this foil vinyl is a bit heavier than the normal vinyl. Okay, so now it's cut. I press OK that I've done it, and it's going to unload the rolled material. It unloads through the back. Whoops. Now, I'm just going to remove the bottom part of that for a moment. Now, if I've cut it correctly, with the correct pressure, it should just lift off easily. If I've used the wrong pressure, that's not going to happen. There to just trim that from it. And you can see how easily it peels off. It's just caught a little bit there. We'll just push that down. There you go. So it's peeled perfectly. Cut to exactly the right depth. It's so important to get that right. Now, when we're finished cutting vinyl, remove the top plate. We have to unlock this again. Move that forward and back. Pull it, sorry, move it back, then move it back to the start position. Make sure it's locked. And lock it again. If you don't do that, it will tell you before you start the machine again. But that's how simple it is to use the roll feeder.